Hey guys, welcome back to the shop. Today I've got an FS91R steel trimmer. The head at the end will not stop turning even when the machine is idling. This is a common problem that I see on these machines when they come in the shop, and especially if they've been sitting for a long time in a damp area. So what I'm going to do today here is go through a step-by-step repair. You're going to see how to do this and also how to prevent that from happening in the future. Now you're going to need a T27 torque screwdriver. I'll be using my Impact here today, and I'm going to do the whole disassembly, reassembly, and you will see exactly the entire process. So what I'll do now is start it up to show you what it's actually doing. Now the machine just died on me. I'll start it up again, but just keep an eye on the spool at the end. You'll see it's always turning. So even if you pull it over, it wants to spin. So the way these work is that when the engine's idling, it should not be spinning. So that's what I need to correct today. So I'll set it out on the table properly. First thing I'm going to do is put a T20 into my Impact and loosen the 4 bolts that hold the trigger assembly here. Now there is a T27 right here. And I almost forgot this little screw in here as well. There's a T27 in here. So what you want to do is get this whole assembly loose so that when you pull off the power head, it all comes out together. And what I'll do is take out this screw. Now the whole head assembly will come off the shaft. Just like that. So now I've got the shaft off. So the problem is not in here. The problem is in the clutch of the power head. Now what I'll do is take the cover off here. Then go at the front here and take off this screw and that screw. One more screw down here. There's the clutch. And herein lies the problem. It's got a broken spring. So what I was expecting here was that these clutch shoes here would be seized onto these bolts. That's what usually happens. But I'm going to take off the 2 bolts here just to make sure it's not seized in there as well. That one's on there pretty tight, so I'll just take off the bottom bolt for now. I probably don't need to take these off to fix this, but I want to make sure that the shoes aren't seized in here. Because like I said, that's a major problem that I come across here on these. Okay, they're good. And there's the spring, it's broken. So that's why the trimmer head's always turning. So since they're not seized in here, I'm not going to waste more time trying to get this bolt out. I'm just going to lube it a bit in here so it doesn't seize, and then put another spring on there. But first here, I'll make sure that this bolt is nice and tight. And good stuff to clean your clutch with is a brake cleaner. Now I'm just going to put this bolt back in here. Now that I know that the shoes aren't seized, just lightly hand tighten it with the impact and then do it by hand. And again, make sure your shoes can move freely. So when I get another machine in where the shoes are seized, I will definitely make a video, because this is exactly what I was expecting when I got into this machine today. I'm actually a bit surprised that it's the spring, because I don't see that too often. So I found a good used spring in my collection here. I'm going to put it in. If you do need this spring, just go to your STIHL dealer. Now it can be a bit tricky getting that spring right in there. There we go. So that all looks good here. I'm just going to reassemble that. All right, I'll start with this cover here. Make sure the wiring harness is in here. There's a small lip under here that the orange cover goes over. Just thought I'd let you know that. Now when you hook this back in, you want to make sure that the rod inside the shaft here lines up in the clutch. So I don't think it's in all the way right now. So what I'll do is turn the head here and push on it at the same time. This will help line up the shaft in the clutch so that the rod goes in. So if it's really difficult to line it up, what I do sometimes is I just start it up, hold it all together, and now I know it's in properly. Now it's to line up the whole machine here, line up the shaft properly. Now you need to line up the power head with the cutting head. I'm going to have to line up the handle, but I'll do that after. Now what you want to do is install the biggest screw out of them all right down here. This will secure the power head on the shaft. And here it is. And I'll secure the T20 screws. Now come to think about it, guys, you don't have to loosen the T20 screws. I did this for nothing, because the whole assembly here will still move on the shaft even though these T20 screws are tight. What you need to do is basically just loosen the T27 in here and the one in here to slide it off. That's all you need to do. Now everything looks straight, lined up. The power head is lined up with the trimmer head, but the handle here isn't. So I'll loosen the 2 screws under here and line that up. And one last screw, T27, goes right here. So now I'm going to start it up, and the trimmer head should not spin when it's idling. So that did the trick, guys, just the spring. Like I said, guys, sometimes it's the shoes that are seized, especially if they've been put away in a damp area like a shed with no floor in it. So next time if I get one with these seized clutch shoes, I will make a video for sure, because that's what I was expecting this time. Actually, just replacing the spring was an easier job, by the way. And again, you don't need to loosen all the T20 screws on the trigger assembly here, throttle assembly. Basically, like I just told you, you just need to loosen the 2 T27 screws on this whole assembly. And again, make sure everything's lined up properly. It is now. I've lined up this, that, and this was off here, and now it's all even. So that's all there is to it, guys. Don't be afraid to fix your own stuff. It's much cheaper than going to a STIHL dealer. And I think that spring, if you buy it from the dealer, it's only about 10 bucks. So for 10 bucks, guys, you can fix this yourself. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe. Comment below, let me know if you have run across these issues with these trimmers. I'd like to hear your story.